Hi everyone, Buena here for WorkPulse, and we are in another episode of WorkPulse Productivity Talks. Today we have here Jeff from Slumber Yard. He's going to share with us some of the tips regarding productivity in their workplace. How are they doing it? How are they measuring productivity? What is everything that they're doing in the company to try and increase employee productivity and keep their employees working on a high level so that they can keep the company running? So Jeff, tell us first a little bit about your company and what do you guys do?
Yeah, nice to speak with you. Thank you for having me. At a very high level, we review mattresses. Every brand and mattress you've ever heard of, we've tested, tried out, slept on, worked with, and we tell people which ones are best suited for particular types of sleepers. So at the highest level, that's what we do, um, uh, and I don't know, we probably have 80 mattresses at our office at any given time.
Okay, sounds like an interesting business actually, tasking mattresses and like just sleeping, I guess. You mentioned when we first spoke, you mentioned that productivity is like one of the most important KPIs for you and your partner. Well, let's start off with how do you define productivity? How do you measure it? And what are you doing to improve it? Then we can move to that part.
Yeah, that's a great question. We have actually two segments of our team. We have a video component and then we have a written component. And for the writers, we usually measure it in number of words written. Now, it's not something that we track to a T. We want general ranges. As long as the quality of the content is high and it's in a specific range, that's really how we measure success there. And then on the video side, it's number of videos. And then within those videos, it's watch time, so how much retention those videos are getting. So we kind of have like between 2 and 4 major KPIs for productivity, and then we have some smaller ones, but they aren't nearly as important to us.
Okay, and what do you do to try and to maintain a high level of productivity? I'm guessing like all businesses want that. All businesses want for their employees to perform highly all the time, to keep those metrics and everything. And what it is that you guys do to maintain and even increase productivity in the workplace?
Yeah, well, I think the first thing is it starts with the employees that you get. As long as you have solid employees that trust you, you respect them, you love working with them, then you're probably setting yourself up for success. So the first thing is just getting the right people, and I think that's obvious. And the second part is just setting them up for success. So clearly laying out the boundaries, creating a very systematic workflow for them, essentially giving them all the tools to be as productive as possible. So that's kind of step 3. And then, or step 2, and then step 3 would just be making the work environment the best it could possibly be, making them want to be at work, making them enjoy working with their employees. So for us, we think about it in, I guess, 3 tranches: getting the right people, setting them up with the right tools, and then continuing to keep them happy so that they want to work for you. Because it's always a balance, right, of getting the most out of your employees, but retaining them for the future so that you can continue to get production. I don't think those things need to be at odds, but you do need to balance them for sure.
Mm-hmm. And are there any special productivity tips? Or, I mean, I've been talking to people and we're seeing online everywhere a lot of different methodologies people use for time management in order to maximize their productivity, or the tools they use and things like that. Are there any things like that you're using in the workplace?
Yeah, well, we have a number of different software items that we use and we love. We have some project management software stuff, but to me, I consider that a little bit more boring to talk about than some of the other things that we've implemented. I'd say 2 of the ones that come to mind that you've probably heard from other folks, one of which is that Matt and I, the operators of the business, try to take a little bit of a hands-off approach and just say, we trust you, do your best work, we'll reevaluate on a week or a monthly basis. And so giving them a lot more control than they would otherwise have, because we've kind of found out that they are a lot more creative than us. They know what we're doing as a business, and our incentives are aligned. So giving them a lot more control than I think a lot of people would give them. And then the other thing is that we're just constantly providing feedback. Anytime there's something positive, just completely try to reinforce the positivity. And then I have kind of like 2 X factors that I think Matt has probably teased with you already, but they're sort of off the wall, and I think they're fun. The first of which are recharge rooms. And I know that you said you have the recharge patio, so
Yeah.
you've kind of already beat me to the punch. But the recharge room is, look, we've got a lot of beds, we've got a lot of furniture at our office, and so we just kind of lean into it and we say, we're not going to hide these things. Let's show them off. Let's allow our employees to use them to recharge at the office. And so it's basically like small bedrooms that people can sleep on or use the adjustable bed frames and work on, and just areas of the office that they can recharge at. Now obviously we're not Google, so we don't have billions and billions of dollars, but it's kind of like a mini version of what some of these big tech companies do.
Yeah, and that's what I found very, very interesting. It's not something every company does. And I mean, it's of course like the nature of your business also allows you to have that, to have a bunch of beds there and like have that in the office at all times so people can use it. And it's something that's really different from a lot of companies. And I think it's something I would definitely, anybody actually would definitely appreciate, that they can have a room where they can go and recharge during the day.
Yeah, and it's such a low cost thing to invest in. I mean, for $800 you could get your own recharge room, and people absolutely love it. And the other thing I was going to tell you
Yeah.
is that we've set up parameters on when people can work. We feel like most people are productive kind of in the meat of their day, between the 11 a.m.s and the 4 p.m.s of the day, and sort of the outer edges of the barbell, they're not as productive. So we've just wholesale restricted company emails after a certain time of the day. So like typically after 7 p.m., we don't allow company emails. We say, look, do it tomorrow. There's very few things that need to be done right this second. We have exceptions, but we basically have a blanket ban from 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. ish. No company work, no company emails. Come back and do it tomorrow, because I'd rather have them really invest during the like I said, the meat and potatoes of their day, than getting like subpar productivity towards the either outer edges of the barbell.
That's an interesting approach as well, because a lot of employers, like, they just want their employees to keep working. Like, it doesn't matter if you receive an email, especially if they work in like sales or customer support, or maybe like a bit of a position that is more hands-on, and they expect them to be there all the time to answer to those emails, or all the time. But the thing is, as you said, like, very few of those emails are actually urgent and need to be handled straight away. So that's another approach that I really liked. And like, what would you is there any advice you would like to give to employers such as yourself, or generally owners or managers who would like to do something for their employees' productivity, besides the things that you already shared that you are doing? Are there any others that you're maybe planning to implement, that you tested and tried, and maybe they worked for a while but these are working better, and things like that?
Yeah, we've experimented with different work weeks, 4-day work weeks, 3-day work weeks, 5-day work weeks. For us, it's kind of the standard in the United States to do 5-day work weeks. So we have experimented with some other things, but there's only so much that you can really test, because the more and more that you test with their employees, the more you kind of just throw a wrench into their system. So you need to test things for, call it 30 days, and then let things settle for a while. Maybe not run another test for 6 months or something. There's only so much you can do if you're a small business. So to tell you the truth, we've only run maybe, I don't know, 10 tests, 10 different things, because again, there's only so much that you can do. But we've been really successful with it. I just kind of take the approach that hire the right people, set them up to be successul, continue to make them happy, because for a small business, it is extremely expensive to hire. So I don't want to burn out somebody. If I train them up, I do not want them to leave. And so far we've been really successful, and we don't have a lot of people leaving. I don't even think we've had anybody quit ever. So it's been largely positive.
That's good. That's great. Those are some great metrics, actually. And
Yeah.
I think it's like the tips you shared are quite simple. Like, any company can do it. Like, you don't need a huge budget or whatever to hire the right people. Just
Yeah.
need to like set up your interviewing process maybe in a bit of a better way. Okay, I think that would be all. Like you've shared the interesting stuff, the unusual stuff that I really liked about the recharge rooms and banning late night work. I love that. But recharging rooms are definitely something that I told you, like the patio that we have is our recharging room, but we all love it. So yeah, I would like to thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me today. It was very nice meeting you, and thank you for being part of WordPulse Productivity Talks. And maybe we'll speak again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.